So, Sid, I know you've done stuff prior to Sano. What projects that you had prior to Sano?
Oh, prior, I was in a band in SAC with my boy Andrew and Alex called Hemispheres. They're in a band called Midori right now. Also, Andrew's in a couple other bands, a lot of hardcore bands. You should check them out. But Midori is definitely one of his new dope bands. And then before Sano, I was in Royal Vices. They've been writing new music as well. Yeah. And now that's what this project is Sano. It's kind of like a little evolution for people that have heard these bands before. It's kind of an evolution of my sound, but also with my guitar player's sound that he likes. We have a lot of shared interest in similar genres, but it's also always evolving.
Okay. So, what originally inspired you to want music in the first place growing up?
I think it was a lot of boy bands, like Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. Yeah, it was weird. And then I listened to one of my homies put me on a lot of rock music, and I remember the first couple of things I was listening to was like Limp Bizkit and Linkin Park. Yeah, Linkin Park was a big influence. It kind of is a lot of the big influence. Besides like the R&B, kind of singing, a lot of like the rougher vocals are a lot of Chester Bennington inspired. So my guitarist says that a lot.
So going back on one you said before, who do you think is better, Backstreet Boys or NSYNC?
This is a tough one. I might get a lot of hate for these comments, but I think Backstreet Boys are better songwriters, but in the sense, but NSYNC has more of the star power.
Yeah, for sure. So I know you said you had like a lot of inspiration from Issues. What really from that do you take?
A lot of the melodies. I liked a lot of the groove. A lot of the instrumentals. I think is really dope. It's a lot of heavier elements, but then with a sleek pop vocal melodies.
Like they're in the crowd, but they're outside the scene.
Yeah, it's just a nice niche, which always can relate to me, where I've been always in the scene, but I'm also outside the scene. Yeah. Like I go to a lot of different kind of musical back and forth.
Like you're getting like you said before, like you pick little pieces out of everything and like try to
Yeah. I like a lot of hip hop, a lot of R&B. EDM is a very much a prevalent scene I was growing into. I've always been into it. And then there's a lot of like math rock, swancore, post-hardcore. A lot of the sounds we're doing now are very reminiscent to very early post-hardcore stuff that I listened to as a kid. So
we grew up around a lot of the same stuff too.
Yeah.
So like, what would you say was like the number one, like your top 5 list when you were growing up for like bands?
Bands? I would say, are we doing like bands or band albums?
How about this? We can pick bands and then you pick their best albums.
So bands, Dance Gavin Dance. It's a cross between whatever I say is Royal Oceans and Downtown Mountain 1. They're very like the rawness of Downtown Mountain 1, and then like the post-hardcore of DBM 1 versus the whatever I say is Royal Oceans raw like vocals. Very dope. Also, Under Oath, their Chasing Safety is probably one of my like record I can't live without. I could just back-to-back record. Every song I could listen to full through. It's like that, and another controversial take, but I'd rather hear a version of their Chasing Safety that sounds like Define the Great Lines. But I'm also a big fan of the very polished songwriting, which they aren't, which is funny, but I love that album.
Speaking of the concept of choosing safety, do you ever hear about that band choosing safety?
A little bit here and there. Here and
Band I
there.
wish I would have got because they had Spencer from Ice Nine Kills in there.
You know,
Another song.
I don't really listen to a lot of Ice Nine Kills. I do love the Halloween themes of Ice Nine Kills.
Yeah. In your view, like, do you think it's controversial for someone to think that they should steer away from that?
Like Halloween or
Yeah, because some people think that they do too much of it.
I think it's their band and they can do whatever they want. It's just like it's a brand and an image, and at the end of the day, it's what they want to do. It's like they're the artists, so it's like let them do their art.
Yeah. So on a broader scope of it, what do you think about that when people believe that they can say what a band should and shouldn't do, even though they're not part of it?
I mean, there's a point where like, yes, you are the support of the band, but it's also like if you understand the band's vision or how they are, it's very different.
Yeah. Because you see those controversial takes that people put out and blow it out of proportions, and then they're like, "Oh, I don't want to tour with these guys because of this and that."
Yeah, I don't ever understand that. I'm very much I'm all for whatever. I like bands can tour with who they want. It's like it's a thing. I don't care. I like playing with who I want to play with. Like some bands, like if I want to play with a pop band and I want to play with a band that is deathcore and breakdowns, I want to do that. Like that's not gonna stop me from being like whatever. I like playing with whoever and whatever kind of like inspires me to make music.
Yeah. So like with your recordings right now, how many things do you think would be like you would say the rough like how many songs recorded?
Roughly demoed, we have 7 to 10 that are demoed out. 14 songs in general, maybe 15. Actually, I lied, probably 16, 17. We wrote a lot, and we're kind of in a mixing purgatory. So I mean, it is what it is. We got people that are busy with their bands, and we're busy with ourselves. We understand because we have a lot of life shit that's been happening with us. But we just got back into writing some more music. We've had a lot of songs that like they're new to everyone who hasn't listened to them, but we had to sit down and listen to them, and now I kind of got the inspiration to lyrically do something about it and compose melodies and make some dope shit happen.
Yeah, like I know you said you got some new members in for drumming. How's that going?
We have fill-in members. I can't say too much right now, but we have some cool fill-in members. They're in the ether, and some that are on tour right now, so I can't say much about it, but just know that we do have a set list we put together. So we have a live set list, and there are some dope songs because there's some old ones that are already out, and then there's some new ones that aren't out. There's some that are just even in the demo stage, but they're completely done, and there's some that are in the mixing and mastering works.
So for those in the hopes of seeing you guys tour soon, what do you think's the far out? Like how far out do you think that'll be?
I don't know, man. I just want to play some shows before I get into all that. I tell my guitar player this all the time. We're just gonna take one step at a time and do what we do before we make too many big plans.
So like that acoustic you did last year, right?
Yeah, like I love the acoustic was sporadic at the moment. It allowed us to kind of like get our feet wet, dip in. Like we did some covers, we did some original songs, and if you were there in the acoustic song, one of the unreleased songs was turned into an acoustic song. So that's gonna be one of the ones that was released.
Yeah, you definitely proved yourself. Like where you guys were thinking like, are we gonna do it? Are we gonna do good? And you guys really did good that night.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah. always good to see people starting out, and like you guys kicked it. Like you didn't even have any hesitation, nothing.
Yeah, it's one of those things that as an artist, I strive to always be prepared. But big shout out to my guitar player. That was like one of his first shows, and he literally just locked in and learned all the cover songs in a week, and then transcribed all of the songs into acoustic in a week.
Yeah, and for what it was, spur of the moment, it was still a decent pull crowd, you know? Like,
Yeah, we had like 40 people. 40 people.
Yeah.
We had actually the most pull of people, and then it was cool. I liked that. I enjoyed it, that people enjoyed it.
So, I know you've made music before with other like bands. What was the biggest crowd you ever dealt with, and did you ever feel like it was too much, or did you feel like you were ready as soon as you got on stage?
I can tell you a story. Back in Hemispheres, Holy Diver, we were in a local showcase. We were playing with Seafloor Cinema. The crazy part about that was they wanted to get done first, so then we became the headliner. And at this time, I just had a new girlfriend, and then a lot of my ex-girlfriends showed up. And I played. I got super drunk because I wasn't expecting all this and the pressure. I killed it. There's some videos out there floating around still, but my guitarist messed up that night. One song. And and you can see on the video on YouTube, I looked at him. I was very mad, but it is what it is. It was an all fun time. It's a great time.
Yeah. So, do you ever feel like, outside of doing music, that more bands should start being more closer to each other in that sense, to understand like where your flaws are, where you can help each other?
I like my guitar player and me are very close. Even with the people that are filling in for live members, there are a lot of close homies that I talk to. They know what's going on in my life all the time, and I like that. It's good to have a very good community around you, and yeah.
Yeah, because I know in some cases you can have like that feeling of brotherhood, but then you never know. Sometimes people turn around and are like snakes.
Yeah, that's happened before. In a band I used to be in, but that's here or there. That's past things. But
and what's good now is you're moving on. You're getting a lot closer with people who actually are there.
Interesting enough, it's actually I haven't been drinking for 2 years and a half, so that's also been a very different lifestyle change, and it's very it's also what kind of honed my writing a lot.
Like basically calm the storm inside of you.
No, it awakened something like where I have a need to write all the time now.
More clear mind.
More clear-minded, yeah.
Because a lot of times I get devices, but they can cloud your mind when you're trying to figure out where you want to do things.
Yeah, and sometimes you just lose who you are, and it sucks. Because then that's a whole other battle. I was just talking about anxiety with one of the homies earlier today, and we had the same kind of struggles, and he still drinks. But he was like, yeah, I took a break, and he was like, that's crazy that you 2 years under your belt. And I was like, yeah, it's very freeing sometimes.
So I know you in this. I think you're the right person to really talk about this. Like we see so many bands nowadays having problems with alcoholism, like how it causes issues, But when you're trying to be clear and trying to better yourself, what do you think is the hardest part about dealing with other people who might be drinking around you?
I think. Well, this is the thing. I have members that drink, they smoke weed, whatever. But it's more of you want to focus on your self-control and vibes like that.
Yeah. So, to end this off, what do you think is your dream when it comes to music for this passion project right now?
Just playing shows with all my friends. Just
Yeah.
playing shows with all my friends are fucking amazing.
Any advice you can give to anybody who wants to make music?
Live your dreams.
Where can people find you?
Instagram, they can find me on Spotify, they can find me on every one of those social media platforms. They can also find my music on anything from Deezer to Spotify to YouTube Music, Pandora.
Yeah, so people look at Sano Us or Sano US, how do you want to say it?
Sano US.
Yeah. All right. Till next time.